Hi guys and welcome back. I really hope that you loved EC's energy. I think he brings such a different vibe into the room wherever he is. He's got this charisma that not a lot of people have. So we're going to go on to our last guest. That we are going to continue to stay in the music area of entertainment. Now she writes all her original songs. She's traveled so many places and plays the guitar. She's an amazing vocalist. So I want to please welcome Pamela Jean. Nice to meet you.
Thanks for
Hi.
having
Of course. Please take a seat. Welcome to the hot seat. I know you are traveling from out of town, correct?
Yes.
So thank you for being here.
Yeah, thank you guys for having me.
So you hail from California, right? Is that where you were born and
I'm
raised?
born and raised in Minnesota, actually.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. I know you've traveled a lot and experienced a lot living in different states,
Yeah,
right?
I've lived in 6 different states. I lived in Vegas. I actually found out today was my 19-year anniversary of when I moved here the first time.
Okay.
So, I'm born and raised in Minnesota. I spent 11 years in California. That's pretty much where my guitar and vocal show came together, was hosting open mics in Oceanside.
Mm-hmm. So when did you really first want to become a musician, a vocalist?
When I was like 4.
Okay.
But I had this terrible stage fright, and I was like in choir class. I had to go sing into a tape recorder in the back room because I didn't even want to sing in front of my choir teacher or the class. So it took me till I was 18 to sing in front of anybody.
So what really inspired you to start picking up an instrument and pick up a microphone?
Well, we took like 6 years of piano as kids.
Okay.
So I had everybody in my family is musical. Everybody's either played the piano, played a guitar, they sing. My parents still sing in a church choir. Like, everyone in my family has some sort of musical background, either listening to like records with my grandparents, or my other grandma, she would sing and play organ. And so we started with piano, and then vocals was just something that I always wanted to do it. And I'd lip sync at every talent show. Like, I would do Paula Abdul songs into a fake microphone. And when I was in elementary school, and I always wanted to sing, I just couldn't get over the fear of it until I was older.
Right. And so your genre of songwriting, I would say, is country.
Country, yeah.
Okay.
Country, pop country, rock country, I guess. Yeah.
So how did you go about being inspired by that type of music? I know a lot of your songs are written about your life, you know, a lot of experiences, and a lot of them are really strong, I would say, country ballads. I listened to some of your music. It's really good. I know you also produce your music videos, right?
I do. I co-produce them.
Okay.
So I have different producers that I work with, but I come to them with an entire storyboard, and I write out everything of what I would like to do and how we'd like to do it, and then we just kind of co-collaborate ideas from there.
Yeah, so country, did that naturally come to you? Or were you
No,
inspired by an artist?
I was like, when we were kids, I hated country. Like, because that's what my parents listened to country. If you guys are watching, sorry, I'm throwing you under the bus right now. But all they listened to was country. And it was like, I was like very defiant. I was like, I don't want to listen to country. I just want to listen to classic rock. And it, like, I grew up in the 80s. So any 80s hair band was my favorite. And I wanted to be a rock star. That's all I wanted to do when I grew up, was to be a rock star. And we went to a Garth Brooks concert when I was 10. And I was like, I didn't even want to go. I'm like, country? I don't want to watch country. Well, if you've ever been to a Garth Brooks concert, I don't care how much you don't like country, you will be a country fan. Yeah. He's like flying from the ceiling. And after we watched his concert, I was like, okay, I love country music.
Yeah, and I mean, it comes naturally to you now.
And that's what my voice sounds. Yeah, and my voice is very, I mean, I can rock things out, but I don't have the power to keep going that hard with rock for more than a few songs per set, you know, so my voice just is naturally country. So as much as I'd love to do more rock, this is where, you know, my vocal range and power and everything is at.
Yeah. And so I am going to bring up, I know on your website you had mentioned one of the songs that you had written. Yeah. And it actually was inspired by your best friend, who ended up, unfortunately, passing. Yes. Correct? Yes. Was that your first single that you...
That was one of the very first songs I ever wrote. I wrote that song when I was 22. It's called Falling. And I don't know if you saw the video for it or not yet. But yeah, it's a powerful song. It was when I was, like, in my early 20s, I was really bad into drugs. And I wrote the song when I was coming down off coke. And I was up all night long, and I wrote all these pages in a notebook and just wrote and wrote and wrote till the sun came up. And that song just happened to be in this, huge, like, words of songs and stuff. And it just came out.
Yeah.
But then about 10 years later, yeah, my best childhood friend died of an accidental drug overdose. And it was very sad. And it was very, like, one of those very powerful moments in life to realize that, like, drugs are not fun. Drugs are not just like, oh, let's go have a nice little party, because if you mix the wrong thing, you could just die instantly at any age. And I think back of all the things I used to do back in my 20s, and like, I'm just grateful to even be alive, honestly.
Yeah, and that's not the only thing that's also inspired your music. Like, I know you are a survivor of abuse,
Yes.
correct? And
Yeah.
that also kind of shapes a lot of your music,
Yes.
right?
Yeah, I spent almost 3 years in a domestic violent relationship, and the only reason I stayed was because I fell in love with this guy's daughter. She attached herself to me the third day we were hanging out, and she was like the child I never had, and her mother was in and out of jail and prison, so I would take her to see her mom every week. We would write her mom letters, we'd send pictures. Like, I was there for this girl, and I wanted to stay there with her no matter what, but it got to the point where it was just so bad. I had turned crazy. Like, I was throwing things around my house. Like, when somebody pushes you around the house and puts you down enough times, you snap.
Right.
And to anybody watching this, I will tell you, you can be, I was like the most peaceful, burn sage, put spiders back outside, like, just zened out person on the planet. And it doesn't matter how zened out you are. If you are in a relationship like that, you will get pushed to the brink of insanity, and you will do things that you'll never think you're going to do, to defend yourself and to stand up for things. And, got really scary, and I had to go.
Yeah. So, I'm here for you. Thank you for being so
Yeah.
vulnerable with that
Yeah,
with
of
me.
course.
Is that something that you feel that you get a lot of people coming to you about now that you're really open about it, and with your music?
I do, because everything I do is kind of like, it's a pedal to the metal mission is what I call it. And it's been 6.5 years since I fled my abuser. I had already broke up with this guy. So this wasn't like I was trying to leave somebody. I had already broke up. I was living on my own, renting a bedroom out, and I was still in this town so I could help raise my stepdaughter. I was still picking her up from school and helping her do homework, and she'd come over and I'd drop her back off with her dad. And I thought that, normal grown-ups do this all the time. So I thought this was going to be how it would be. And just one day I went to drop her off, and he said, "You'll never get to see her again unless you come back to me." And he's never allowed us to talk since. And in that time, when I fled, like, I was being stalked, I was being harassed, I was being bullied right out of this town. My dad called me. He says, "You need to leave town tonight." I said, "I have $40 left to my name." I says, "Where am I supposed to go with $40? He says, "Do not worry about a thing." He went and put like $2,300 in my bank account. The next day, he gave me his credit card number, told me to book a U-Haul. He says, "Start driving and make your life." He goes, "You got a U-Haul for 5 days. Go make your life somewhere new." And my dog and I just started driving and ended up in the Pacific Northwest. So it was called Pedal to the Metal, because you just leave and you never look back. And you can never look back. You have to block these people out of your life. You have to change your phone number, file a police report, and just go start somewhere new. And that's the only way to safely do it. And since then, I donate 10% of everything with my music and my tip jar to women's shelters. And while I'm in this area, I'm actually looking for a women's shelter. Maybe you guys can recommend one that I can donate to. But I've personally donated and raised over $5,000 in this time on this Pedal to the Metal mission to help other women and children get to safety.
Well,
So
yeah,
I talk about it at every show, and I talk about it, on every interview and at every show. And there's always one person that'll come up, "Hey, my daughter just got out of a relationship like that." And they give me a big hug, and they're like, "Thank you for advocating, and thank you for talking about this." And, if people watch how I'm doing in life, that should be inspiration enough to know that once you get rid of that negativity in your life, everything just opens, all the doors open up for you, and you just have this clear path in life.
And you have the courage to speak and be the voice.
Yes.
There are a lot of people that don't, and it's not to blame them, but not everyone has that courage in order to be in the spotlight like that, in order to talk about those things for others that cannot.
There's a organization called Stop the Silence that I work with back in Spokane, and I donate my show to them several times throughout the year to help them with their benefits and stuff. And it's the lady who started it. It was her sister that died at the hands of her abuser, and so they called it Stop the Silence because nobody knew how bad it was. And so not everybody makes it out alive. It's 1 in 3 women. It's 1 in 4 men. I don't just advocate for women, but I am a woman, so I do everything I do is with women's shelters. But I do also recognize men get abused just as easily and just almost as much as women. You know, they just have a little bit more of a physical advantage over us. I mean, women are dying all the time at the hands of their abusers because we just aren't physically strong enough to fight off a man that's twice our size.
Right, right. So you are touring right now, right, with your music. And so with your music and with touring, what legacy do you want to leave behind, and where do you want to end up with your career as a musician?
Well, with the touring, like it's like a paid vacation, basically. I get to come and go to places that I love to be and make these road journeys with my one-eyed dog, and we have a blast. But in the course of this having a fun time and going and seeing all these places I love to be, I want the legacy to be that I was that person that maybe reached one person at a show that didn't have the courage to leave, that saw me, saw my life, saw what I'm doing, and says, wow, like I could live my dreams too if I got out of this relationship. And I want the legacy to be attached to that I'm a domestic violence awareness survivor and a huge advocate for it, to let others know. I want to give people inspiration to understand that they can live their dream life and they can live in safety and they don't have to live in fear. And that's what I would like to always be known for through my touring and music.
Of course. And so where is your next show? So
my next show, the 19th and 20th, I'm at Boulder Dam Brewing in Boulder City from 7 to 10. And then Monday the 22nd, I'm at Rustic Inn in Henderson from 2 to 4. It's kind of like a midday happy hour show. Carmen, the beautiful Carmen, is going to be your bartender that day. So those are my last 3. Well, no, and then I'm at the Boathouse on the 27th out at Lake Mead from 6 to 8.
Okay, so a lot of like Southeast, you're going to go performing a lot down there. I feel like, but that your music would fit there perfectly.
Vegas, so. I couldn't get booked in Vegas. I tried. I've tried 3 different times, and nobody will. Oh, no. They don't want original music and they don't want solo artists. It's very hard to book Vegas. So like one of these times.
But I feel like where you're going really is a good demographic for you.
It is.
Be a house name down there at least. So every time you come to Vegas, you can still have some places that will welcome you in.
Yeah, I played at the Dillinger and Vegas Valley Winery and then Desert Sands RV Park so far, and just very welcoming crowds. They love the music. You know, I do a lot. I do everything from Johnny Cash to Lady Gaga for covers, and then about 45 minutes of my original music.
That's amazing.
So they get to sing along with songs they know, hear some new stuff. Yeah.
So this question I ask all of my guests. It kind of sums up them as a whole, and I love hearing their answer because it really just describes them in like one sentence, everything that we just learned about you. So is there a philosophy that you live by?
I've never been asked that question. I live your dreams. I've been posting a lot about it lately because I'm a huge dreamer, huge daydreamer, and I just put a 10-step program on my Facebook page on how to live your dream life. Basically, 1, you have to have a dream. You have to make sure you're not living someone else's dream. I think that gets a lot of people get caught up in living. They get together with a partner and say this partner wants to go live in California, but you want to live in New York.
Right.
Eventually you have to say, like, am I going to sacrifice my dream to live in New York because my partner wants to live in California? And then you have to just kind of, you have to decide where your path is.
Exactly.
And I have been like strategically going on my path for quite some time now. And it's like when you go on your path and you're following your dreams and you got to keep finding ways to make them work. And it's not easy. Like, I've been a self-employed artist for almost a year and a half now, and it is challenging. Like, while I'm here right now, I'm messaging all these venues back in Spokane, so I have money to go home to.
Exactly.
And then while I'm up there playing shows, I've been messaging Vegas so I could set up this little tour.
Yeah.
And,
It's a hustle.
It's
a
a
hustle.
total hustle. I mean, I'll lay in bed for 2 hours a morning, and people think I'm just lounging in bed. I'm like,
No, and you're
no,
working your
it-
emails, you're DMing, you're researching
some
stuff.
people
Yeah.
work from home. I work from bed because it's comfortable.
Hey, you
and
know, as long
I'm
as you're present on there,
I'm
right?
snuggled up with my dog, and I'm like, what place is going to hire me next? You know,
Right, but that's good. A lot of people don't have that will and that courage and also that maturity to do things for yourself instead of other people.
It's very it's you have to be very self-motivated to stay self-employed, and I have 3 small businesses. So I do photography, and I have a jewelry line that goes with my music, because at my shows I have my little merch table with my handmade jewelry up there. So if I'm not booking shows, like I always make sure my shows are booked first, because that's where the money comes in to pay my bills. And then at night, there's certain nights I'll sit down at the table from 5 until almost midnight making jewelry, and my eyes are falling shut.
Right.
And I'm like, my boyfriend will look at me. He goes, honey, it's time for you to stop. And I'm like, just one more. I'm almost done with this necklace. And I'm sitting there with the pliers and these reading glasses on and a headlamp. And I'm like, okay, you can't see straight anymore. It's time to go to bed.
So did you make what you're wearing? I noticed your guitar earrings.
Not these. These
those,
were a
those
gift
are very
from a friend of mine.
Okay.
Yes, I got these for my birthday from my friend Sarah a couple years
you.
ago. But I did make the fairy necklace.
And the bracelet as well?
And the bracelet, yeah. So I do
so.
I do a lot of stuff with rocks and gems.
Okay.
So
yeah, it's amazing. Is there anywhere
I was looking at your necklace too.
I was like, almost,
I was
alley
like,
of the stones, and for us glam girls. Out there,
And the jewelry line is called Rockstar Jewelry.
Okay.
And it actually, I started it. I had a hysterectomy about a year and a half ago. That's how I became self-employed, because I had to take 6 weeks off to recover, and I was always been in the bartending or server industry. And they were like, you're not going to be able to do anything physical for 6 weeks. And I was like, whatever. I thought the doctors and the surgeons were crazy, because I'm a very strong, motivated person. I figured I'd be hiking. I figured I'd be back to work.
Yeah.
Oh, no. Like,
right.
I had stage 4 endometriosis that they found. So I had 2 major operations done at the same time. And my energy level skyrocketed. Like, I've been sleeping on average 10 to 12 hours a day for many years, and taking naps, and I couldn't figure out. I thought it was just because I'm in my 40s. I was like, well, I'm just old now, whatever. I guess I'm just tired all the time. Endometriosis is no joke, and it had my body weighted down so heavy that all I wanted to do was sleep.
Mm-hmm.
So after the surgery, I was waking up at like 7 in the morning. I had all day free. I had no job because I couldn't physically work. And I was like, how am I going to pay my bills? Like, I can't even pick up my guitar. So I had some rocks and some hemp string and some beads at my little cabin I was living in. And I just started wire wrapping some rocks from the river. And I was able to sit and make jewelry while I was recovering. And Rockstar Jewelry. My boyfriend Jeremiah actually came up with the name, because he goes, everybody wants their own little piece of being a rock star. And I was like, this is a great name. Hey. So I say, on my Etsy page, it says, Rockstar Jewelry made for you by a rock star. And
period.
Yeah.
So we can order it. So please let the audience know where they can find you on social media, and also where they can connect with you on supporting your small business and stuff like that.
So if you go to PamelaJeanUnlimited.com, that's my official website. There's links to everything on there. If you're looking for me on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, or Facebook, Pamela Jean Unlimited. And then if you are looking for me on Etsy, it's Pamela Jean Unlimited on Etsy as well. And then if you want to find me on Spotify, just to download or put me in your playlist, Pamela Jean, Jean, and you can find everything there.
Well, thank you so much for being so open and vulnerable with me.
Thank you so much for having me.
It's amazing. I'm so glad you made time for me.
Yeah,
I know you're traveling, you're working.
For me too. So.
But absolutely beautiful energy. I really wish you the best. I love what
you're
doing, and I love how courageous you are with it. I know that's a lot that you go through, and I'm pretty sure that's something that'll never leave you. So I'm really, really here to support you. And
thank you.
I really hope wish you the best with your career.
Thank you so much.
Everyone, Pamela Jean, everyone, round of applause. Please go support her small businesses and support her music. She is a one-of-a-kind, original, writes her own stuff, plays guitar, and you are going to perform for us?
Yes, if there's time, yeah.
Yes. So right after this small little break so she can get set up, she'll perform one of her original songs for you guys. And yeah, get ready. Get your popcorn ready.
And I did send you guys another music video
for
today,
so
too.
We're going to see that.
That one is Small Country Town, the one dealing with domestic violence. So
great. Perfect.
Forever was in the palm of your hand. Spend your life with that one and only man. Wanted everything I believed you to have. Dream forever was in the palm of your hand. Looking through the photos of your white wedding day, everything looked perfect to everyone else anyway. And you and me, an amazing actress you'd make. Dwindling a decade with hopes that he'd change. But your lights always shine brighter than that small country town. You were ready to break at the seams, but he always put you down in that small country town. You followed him to the woods in your camouflage. I had fancy dinner, VIP at the Mirage. Thought you were happy, she doesn't need what I need. So different, but from the same genes. Yeah, your lights always shine brighter than that small country town. You were ready to break at the seams, but he always put you down in that small country Yeah, your lights will always shine brighter than that small country town. You were ready to break at the seams, but he always put you down in that small country town. Yeah, that small country town. Small country
Traditional TV is going away. Hollywood is starting to fade. People are demanding real stories from real people. Our voices are now being heard in our own way. Podcasts, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and TikTok Live are becoming the norm. Internet TV has now reached the highest demand in human history. Social media shows is now the new media of the century.
Hello, everyone. This is Joseph Skoda with Social Media Shows. Well, I thank all of you for your support through these last several years, and it's been a lot of fun. We've given people a voice they never had before. Now, Social Media Shows is always collaborating with our veterans to help them do things and help out the veterans who are struggling today. And we teamed up with GI Connections, connecting veterans with resources. So please consider helping and donating to this great cause because we're always doing things for veterans. So GI Connections, Social Media Shows, and you is what makes the world a better place. Once again, Joseph Skoda, proud United States Air Force veteran.
Hey everyone, I'm Pamela Jean. Thank you so much, Priscilla, for having me today on the hot seat. This is my song, that Falling, that I was talking about earlier in the interview for you.
How am I supposed to sleep? I can't stop these voices inside me. Morning light is peeking in, I'm wondering where I've been. How will I feel tomorrow? Will I regret today? When I wake up in a state of daze, what will my body say? I'm falling, about to lose control. I spread my arms like wings. Somehow I lose my soul. Living in misery, there is no peace for me. Nothing seems to settle down, looking through a tainted crowd, striving to revive me. Wish I could be set free. The light is shining down on me, and nobody knows I'm falling, about to lose control. I spread my arms like wings. Somehow I lose my soul. I'm falling deep into a dream. The ground is coming close. Nothing's what it seems. Nothing's what it seems. I can't tame these endless riddles and rhymes, sitting here while I'm lost in time. But now I realize this isn't a game. I'm trying to give him my awakening. Falling. Falling
Everyone, Pamela Jean. So make sure to follow her on all her social media and support her small business, her jewelry business. It is beautiful. She has a great thing going on for her. So everyone, one more last time for Pamela Jean.
Thank you so much.
And I will see you after the break for my closing notes.
Past that place that I call home. Late at night you think of me again, telling me the front door's open. He told me he doesn't know himself.